welcome to another episode of Design Under Influence, where we look deeper into challenges that architects face with technology and business in general, and we try to be as helpful as possible. Today, my co-host and I came up with an excellent topic for you. It's within one of our top support tickets, this issue of docking station not being able to connect to SketchUp or Photoshop or some other software, architecture-specific software or engineering-specific software that seemingly kind of just breaks things. And we're going to dive right into this. And Boris is going to give us the rundown of what the possible solution might be, or what your problem, where the problem comes from, first of all, and then what this possible solution is. Boris, welcome to the next episode, and can you give us a little bit of a background on the subject? Like, what are we seeing? What is the issue? How does the issue manifest for our customers?
Well, first of all, hi everyone. Thank you for listening to us. So to answer your question, Alex, so we see this issue. We've seen it quite a few times now in the recent past, and the issue is basically showing up when somebody's trying to use, SketchUp or Photoshop or other software, specifically for architects in the design process. And they have a laptop, and they also have a docking station that uses the DisplayLink drivers. And these are docking stations that, you can get off Amazon. It's something like Pluggable, which is a pretty good docking station, but it has this caveat: when you use it with architecture software, you get error messages, stuff doesn't open properly, doesn't show up properly, and things like that.
So that's been the issue that we've seen time and time again. Now, so first things first, architects use docking stations because of multiple display needs, correct? And there are different kinds of docking stations. So talk us through the ones that you specifically seen people having problems with.
As I mentioned, these are more like third-party docking stations, which, one of the brands is Pluggable, but they use the DisplayLink drivers. If you have a Lenovo laptop and you're using a top-end Lenovo docking station for your laptop, then this issue doesn't show up. Same thing with Dell. If you have a Dell laptop and you're using the actual Dell docking station, this issue doesn't show up because it's designed to natively support the graphics card that's in your laptop. With these third-party docking stations, they have to use the DisplayLink driver to so that it's more universal, right? So you can use this docking station with their Dell or Lenovo or HP or anything like that. So to make it universal, they use the specific driver, and that's what's causing the issue for the software we're talking about.
All right, so more generic or multiple brand docking stations are the ones typically having a problem with opening SketchUp, Photoshop, and some other software, architecture-specific software. Now, what did you diagnose? Why is that happening?
Well, it's a problem with the driver and the way the driver is, or the way the application is trying to communicate to your monitor or your display. So your laptop has a graphics card built into it. When you connect a docking station to it, or these particular types of docking stations, in order to make, for them to be compatible with multiple devices or multiple manufacturers, they install a virtual graphics card called the DisplayLink. So basically what happens is the application, when it's launched, it tries to send all the traffic through the virtual graphics card and not through your local graphics card on your computer. And basically the virtual graphics card doesn't have the power that's required, or doesn't have the specific technology that's required to process these type of things, and it throws an error. And just if we go really deep, the specific technology is called OpenGL. So it's Microsoft's graphics technology, and many of today's applications are written for OpenGL.
Gotcha. What are some of the? Is there a way to remedy this more cross-compatible docking station to actually work with SketchUp and similar software that require the horsepower for the graphic card?
So I mean, we basically have a process that we go through, and we try a few different fixes in order to resolve the issue, and at times just the regular, just the first level fix works, and at times it doesn't, and we have to go to the next step. So the first thing I would do, or the first thing I would suggest people do, and the first thing we do, is basically you need to update Windows to the latest feature pack release. So this issue, per Microsoft, this issue is resolved in the latest feature pack, or actually, since we're in 22 now, it was resolved in a feature pack that's installed in 20. The version is 20H2. So if you install that feature pack or later, which is now also the latest supported by Microsoft, you should be able to resolve the issue in many cases, right?
Can you just remember where you are right now? Put a little waypoint here for a second. We talked about keeping versioning consistent throughout architecture offices. Does that feature pack update impact our recommendation on making sure everybody's on the same version?
No, because we want to make sure that everybody in our organization is on the same later supported version of Windows, right? So even though we're not saying upgrade for sake of upgrading, we're saying upgrade everybody for sake of resolving this particular issue.
Gotcha.
So, and also from the support standpoint, Microsoft just announced that 20H2 is the earliest version supported. So any versions before that are no longer supported by Microsoft anyway. So you have to get your Office up to date and make sure that you're running an update later than 20H2 or later.
Gotcha. Okay. So that's your first fix. You make sure you're not version, and if you're not that feature pack, then you go and upload. And that typically resolves the problem.
That resolves the problem in many cases. So I would say 80% of the time. The next step, you'd also want to make sure that the DisplayLink driver is up to date and is the latest version as well. So you can download that from the DisplayLink website.
So that's from a docking station manufacturer.
Well, not even, yeah. So docking station manufacturers have the driver as well, but DisplayLink is a separate technology, right? That's built into this docking station. Mm-hmm. And they have a separate website that you go and you can download the driver from them. That would usually be the most up-to-date and the most recent, and probably contains the most fixes.
So step one, make sure you're in the latest feature pack with Microsoft Office-wide, I suppose. Step two, update your DisplayLink driver. Mm-hmm. Okay. Where do we go from here?
So doing both of these things will most likely resolve the issue, but we've seen a few times where it doesn't. And that would then depend on the actual application that you're trying to use, right? And, some of the workarounds, once you've done those two steps. So one workaround would be to always launch your application from your laptop screen, right? So if you have a problem with SketchUp, you would basically make sure that you're launching SketchUp from your laptop screen and not, the other displays that you have connected. So that usually fixes the issue as well. If for some reason that still doesn't fix the issue, and this is more of, this workaround is kind of more, it's less streamlined, right? It's something that you have to do, but you can disconnect the docking station from your computer. Once it's disconnected, then you can launch the application and it will launch on your laptop, right? On your laptop screen using the internal graphics card. And then you can reconnect the docking station. And once that happens, the application is happy and it can run. But you have to do this every time you're opening your application. So this is kind of the last resort of trying to fix this issue.
Clunky, but possibly could save some time and effort in between, more of a final fix. So, the shortcut is unplug your station, launch the application, plug the station back in, an application is happy, and you're drawing, you're doing your thing in SketchUp or Photoshop. All right. So I think that's a pretty good advice. We have 1, 2, 3. If people have questions, you guys can always jump on to getarchit.com and just contact us, and we'll be happy to answer your question. You don't need to be our customer for us to help you out, or just you can comment on a video or either way, get in touch with us and we'll help you out. Are there any last words of advice or wisdom you want to impart regarding this particular issue?
So I think like the best case scenario here, and yes, maybe it will cost you a little more money in the long run. But remember, we're doing this, we're running a business here. So investing a little bit more to avoid some of the issues and be more efficient and, process more work and be more billable is beneficial in this case, right? So I would suggest, buying laptops from reputable manufacturers like Lenovo and Dell, and then 2, buying accessories from the same manufacturers. Yes, it'll cost you maybe, a couple of $100 more to buy the docking station from Lenovo, but you'll avoid having these issues and other issues that can crop up in the future.
Gotcha. So you save time. You allow your people to have better focus and avoid issues, having to deal with IT support and resolving probably, losing hours and hours of work potentially with this and other issues. There you have it.
That's correct.
Excellent advice. Guys, thank you very much for listening. As I said before, contact us if you have any questions. We're here to help. Have a wonderful day. See you next time.